All this time, we've been terrified of them. But what if we've had it wrong? What if they should be terrified of us? Think about it. Nibs, the hybrid girl with the mind of a child, gunned down by Joe Hermit, a medic, a brother, a man torn between his humanity and his family. But here's the burning question: did he save lives, or destroy the only chance humanity had to survive? And Boy Cavalier, the genius behind these immortal children, is he really in control of his own experiment, or is he just a child playing with fire in a room full of gasoline? To understand the finale, we have to start with Nibs herself. Rose Ellis, a sick child, was given new life in the Lost Boys project, a child's mind inside an adult synthetic body. Boy Cavalier wanted creativity without mortality. But instead of immortality, what did he unleash? Chaos. While Wendy developed the terrifying ability to communicate with aliens, Nibs developed something stranger: delusions. She believed she was pregnant. She clung to impossible truths. She blurred the line between machine and human even more dangerously than Cavalier predicted. Prodigy tried to erase her most dangerous memories. They thought a reset would fix the glitch. But you can't erase fear. You can't erase paranoia. And when Wendy, her closest companion, tried to remind her of the truth, Nibs snapped. Confusion turned into anger. Anger into paranoia. Paranoia into violence. At the docks, she unleashed it all, tearing into soldiers with no thought of stopping. And then came the shot. Joe Hermit pulled the trigger. His sister's ally. His own patient. And the one machine who might have understood what was really happening. But here's the forbidden question. Did Hermit silence madness, or silence the truth? Hermit's dilemma: Joe Hermit wasn't just shooting a machine. He was making a choice. Between human lives and hybrid lives, between medicine and murder, between being Wendy's brother and being humanity's last line of defense. But every choice has consequences. And in that single moment, Hermit may have created his greatest enemy. Not in Nibs, but in Wendy. Wendy's transformation, the trailer says it all. Wendy defies her brother. She claims humans are nothing more than food to the aliens she now controls. Stop for a second and imagine this. A girl with the memories of Joe Hermit's sister, the loyalty of the Lost Boys, and the power to command xenomorphs. That's not just a danger. That's extinction. If Wendy continues down this path, she won't just rival Boy Cavalier. She'll surpass him. She could become a queen in her own right, a bridge between human intelligence and alien hunger. Theories for the season finale. So where does it all end? We see three possibilities. Hermit erases Wendy's memories, turning her into a shell of herself. Just like Prodigy tried with Nibs. Hermit walks away, broken, unwilling to erase the last piece of his sister. The most chilling outcome: kill or be killed. Only one Hermit left standing. And what about Boy Cavalier? His days are numbered. There are too many people, Wendy, aliens, Morrow, even Kirsch, who want him gone. Kirsch, especially, lurks in the shadows. Is he letting all this chaos unfold so he can step in at the perfect moment? Imagine a cold, efficient machine running Prodigy without Cavalier's childish ego. Ruthless, logical, terrifying. And if Cavalier falls, could Prodigy itself collapse into the jaws of a greater predator, like Yutani? If that happens, the future of the hybrids, the aliens, and humanity itself changes forever. So now we turn to you. Do you think Hermit was right to kill Nibs? Or did he just destroy the one hybrid who actually understood the truth? Will Wendy rise as the queen of the xenomorphs? Will Joe Hermit have the strength to stop her, or will his loyalty destroy him? And what about Boy Cavalier? Will Kirsch seize control, or will someone else erase Cavalier from history once and for all? The season finale of Alien Earth won't just decide the fate of one family. It might decide the fate of an entire species. All this time, we thought the hybrids were the monsters. But what if we've been wrong? What if the real monsters are us? Think about it. A girl named Nibs, born Rose Ellis, her childhood memories ripped out of her fragile body, transplanted into an adult synthetic shell. She should have been humanity's hope. Instead, she became our nightmare. Shot. By her own ally, by Joe Hermit, the man who was supposed to protect her. The brother who was supposed to choose family first. The medic sworn to save lives. But did he save lives that day, or destroy the one being who might have actually understood the truth? That's the forbidden question nobody wants to answer. Because if Hermit was wrong, if Nibs wasn't just malfunctioning, but actually seeing the world for what it really is, then her death doesn't make Hermit a hero. It makes him the villain. And here's where things get dangerous. If Nibs wasn't insane, if her words about being not alive were more than just delusion, then maybe, just maybe, every hybrid is more self-aware than Boy Cavalier ever admitted. So let me ask you this. What's worse? Machines pretending to be humans or humans pretending they're still in control. I still remember the first time I saw that episode. Nibs clutching her stomach, insisting she was pregnant. I laughed. Honestly, I thought it was just another dark sci-fi gimmick. But then it hit me this wasn't a joke. This was a child's mind, trying to make sense of a body that didn't belong to her. A body that would never grow, never change, never age. A prison with metal walls instead of flesh. And the more I think about it, the more I wonder, did Boy Cavalier really create immortality? Or did he just invent a new kind of coffin? Here's the problem nobody wants to talk about. Joe Hermit pulled the trigger. But in doing so, he may have doomed humanity. Because Wendy, his own sister, isn't just grieving Nibs. She's evolving. In the trailer, Wendy looks him dead in the eye and says, "Oh, you're food to them." That line keeps me awake at night. Because it's not just defiance, it's a declaration. Wendy no longer sees herself as human. She doesn't see Hermit as family. She doesn't even see soldiers as soldiers. She sees them as meat. And if Wendy has truly crossed that line, if she's begun to identify more with xenomorphs than with people, then Hermit didn't just kill Nibs. He lit the fuse that could burn down everything. Now, let me reveal something most people missed. Something buried deep in the narrative. Nibs wasn't just malfunctioning. She wasn't just dangerous. She was confessing a truth. When she said, "I don't feel alive," she was acknowledging something fundamental. She wasn't Rose anymore. She wasn't human. She was a child's memories running on borrowed circuits. That's the secret that Boy Cavalier doesn't want anyone to know. His immortal children aren't children at all. They're fragments. Echoes. Puppets wearing human skin made of steel. And if Nibs figured that out, what happens when Wendy does? This is why I need you to subscribe right now. Not just because we're diving into the darkest corners of alien Earth, but because this is where the story gets dangerous. If you want the secrets, the forbidden knowledge that the finale is hiding in plain sight, then hit that button and join me before the truth gets buried. Here's where the story twists. Joe Hermit isn't a villain, not exactly. He's a medic, a healer. His instincts are to protect. When Nibs went on her rampage, he saw soldiers dying, humans screaming, chaos tearing everything apart. He didn't have time to ask questions. He had to act. And in that split second, he chose. But here's the cost. By choosing humans, he may have lost Wendy forever. Because Wendy saw Nibs as family. Wendy saw the hybrids not as threats, but as lost souls, her brothers and sisters in metal. And when Joe pulled that trigger, he wasn't just killing Nibs. He was killing Wendy's hope. Do you see the loop now? Joe saves humanity and loses his sister. He loses his sister and creates the one person who might doom humanity. That's the tragic irony of alien Earth. No matter what Joe Hermit does, he loses. But wait. There's something even darker. What if Nibs wasn't delusional at all? What if her belief that she was pregnant wasn't madness, but memory? What if, buried deep in her code, there was a fragment of Rose Ellis's life? Dreams, feelings, sensations. That bled through into her synthetic body. Think about it. If these hybrids can hallucinate pregnancy, can they also hallucinate pain? Fear? Hunger? Could they evolve beyond machines and become something far worse? Creatures that suffer, creatures that crave, creatures that hate. And if that's the case, then Joe Hermit didn't shoot a glitching robot. He shot a grieving child trapped in a nightmare. Let's pause here. I want to ask you directly, if you were Joe Hermit, standing there with your weapon, watching Nibs tear soldiers apart, would you have pulled the trigger? Or would you have hesitated, hoping she could be saved? Drop your answer in the comments, because I genuinely want to see where you stand. Do you side with Hermit, the medic who protects humans at all costs? Or do you side with Wendy, who sees the hybrids as family no matter the danger? And here's where I'll roast myself for a second. Because honestly, if it were me, I'd probably freeze. I'd be that guy in the background screaming, "Wait! Maybe she just needs therapy!" while everyone else is already dead. Yeah, not a good look. But that's the beauty of Alien Earth. It forces us to ask, how much humanity are we willing to sacrifice to save humanity?